Considering the situation of water, you have told about RO water installing. Actually, we were having these RO filters everywhere installed in our hostels. And it has been only 1 year that we have changed to the conventional one. So what are your plans for bringing it back to it? Because there were a lot of difficulties and problems that was faced initially. That's the reason why we have moved to this one. And it also saved a lot of water. So we want the view from both of you. Okay?
Let me start. Okay. As I said before, for producing 1 liter of RO, it produces 3 liters of wastewater. So what I have in mind is that we should have an RO plant, not an RO water purifier. 1,000 liter RO plant. The pure water from the RO will be fed to all the coolers in all the levels of the floors, the hostels. And the wastewater, it can be easily fed to the flush tanks of the toilets. So there is effective consumption of wastewater, as well as our need for RO pure water will be solved. Satisfied.
Sir, yeah, there is a lot of water is wastage in reverse osmosis process, but why we cannot make some arrangement such as a separate tank which can be filled by wastage water from RO, and then that water can be used for cleaning or washing purpose. Separate tank will be there.
Could you please explain the plan of action, how you're going to make it possible? Because you're saying about the 1,000 liter
Yes.
plan you're going to do it. So how you're going to approach them, how you're going to implement it?
Like, my plan is to go similar to Amber Hostel. Same thing is implemented in Amber Hostel. We can also implement the same in other hostels too. Like, we will have a 1,000 liter RO plant, and the plan for the entire hostel, one big plan for the entire hostel. But the pure water from the RO plant, it should be fed to all the water coolers in the hostels. It can be further purified with UV or other filters in there. And you can see most of the hostels in our college, hopefully, fortunately, every one of the hostels in Trichy, NIT Trichy, is very, very well planned. And there is separate pipelines for this flush tanks as well as for drinking water. So it is easy to simply connect the wastewater from the RO plant back into the pipelines.
Do you have any point of action you can explain?
Sir, what I am thinking that making a separate tank for storage of wastage water from RO and using that water for washing and cleaning purposes by having separate connections.
What are your views on extension of curfew?
See, my point of view, why we need to extend the curfew on girls, especially the PG second years, since they have bigger projects to do. Some of the expense required more time. So, extension on girls, extension of roll call time for girls from 9 to 11 will be very essential. And to ensure their safety, with the consensus of transport section, a ladies hostel warden, the chief warden, there can be arrangements made at night so that they are picked up, they are dropped into they are dropped to the Opal compound itself.
You were talking about single rooms for PG girls.
Yes.
So I think you go for a single problem alone without considering the larger situation in the hostel. So what do you like? Especially, it's not only PG girls who are there. Like we have PhD scholars are there.
Yes.
So given the we know the large hue and cry, all of the Opal hostlers would know the large hue and cry that happened where we have a lot of space constraint.
Yes.
So what do you think you can do for that basically, rather than saying that just like you need to have single rooms only for PG girls. Rather than that, what would you suggest more than? Any better suggestion?
Like, not capable of building another hostel. It is not
Would you
possible.
suggest?
The first primary concern for joint secretary PG is related to the PG department.
I didn't mean that. Even to get rooms for PG students, basically there should be space.
Yes.
So there should be something. If there is some kind of pressure from your part, will there be any pressure from your part, any trial from your part, towards at least the first step of constructing a hostel, something like that?
It can be done if such a need is there as a whole. If I'm elected, and there is a very good need for that, people are approaching me that this is the problem, we need that. Of course, I'll raise the question.
I have a question for you regarding this. So you said that you'll allot single rooms for PG students, right?
Yes.
Because they are half full. Now say there's a room allotment that will go on now. Okay, Opal E is one block where you can allot single rooms. So now PG students are going to come and ask you to allot them single rooms. And UG final years are going to come and ask you for the for single rooms. Because, let me tell you, because of space constraint, generally we follow this pattern. UG, first year 3-seater room we stay, second year 3-seater room, then third year 2-seater, and final year 1-seater. But because of the space constraint, they have given some MTechs single room, and in the third year, where they were supposed to stay in 2-seaters, they settled for 3-seaters. So now the UG girls want single seaters in their final year. Okay. So now when the UG girls also come and ask you for the single seaters in the final year, and PG also ask you, and you have only one hostel to allot, how will you tackle this issue?
See, as I said before, the main concern for me is the joint secretary PG. The main concern for me is only the PG. But as a whole, I have to consider their part also. See, right now, for some of these MTech first years are also having three sharing rooms. Most of them are also having three sharing rooms. So there is nothing wrong with getting them one sharing room, single sharing room. The second year.
So you mean to say you will be on their part and you will support only the PG students?
Yeah, that is my main priority actually.
My question is to Jithin Joseph.
Yes.
You told something about this curfew hours,
Yes.
extending from 9 to 11.
Yes.
And even now also, girls have a choice that if they have some project work or something else to do,
Yes.
they can get extension from the hostel warden, and they can do the project work and go to return to the hostel.
Yes, it is there.
Yeah,
Yes, I
let
understand
me
that.
finish the question.
Yes.
And once if you get curfew hours extended for all the girls, and considering the safety issues for the girls, and a village, working communities inside the campus itself, will it not be a safety issue for all the girls if we allow them to stay till 11 outside?
It is not like that. I have given the opportunity to all the girls to roam around. They are given specific directions that they are given. They have to first get permission from the project guide. They have to get permission from the ladies warden. Then only their name will be cut off from the roll call. Then even after that, at 11 in the night, if they have not entered in the hostel, the name will be called again. And also, there will be an arrangement for transport facilitation. Transport facilities will be there. With the consensus of transport section, chief warden and ladies hostel warden. So we can arrange vehicles to take these girls from their respective departments to their hostels.
It's already complicated. It's already complicated. It's not complicated again.
It is possible to do that. It is really possible to do that. I said already about the PG second year girls.
So I want both of you to explain what's your take on stipend, because one problem for all the PG students, especially the MTech students, is we get stipend around 15th of every month. So how can you make sure we'll get stipend in the first week of every month? Because the pattern is very irregular.
Sir, we are getting in first month. Stipend in first month.
Actually,
There are situations where we won't be getting stipend till the 18th of the month. So it is very irregular sometimes. So how do you make sure that will not happen? I want both of you to
like
explain.
last year, when we just came to this college, for the first 2 months, it was very difficult for us since we didn't get the stipend. For the first 2 months, it got delayed. And also it got delayed during the demonetization time. So, as I did some research, I understood that the main problem that we face right now for the delay of stipend is the attendance. The attendance list from the hostel, from the respective departments are now reaching the banking study. So, there is delay in that issue. That is the main reason why the stipend is getting delayed.
What's your approach? I mean, how will you make sure that stipend comes on time?
Like you have to make sure that the stipend, the attendance list from the respective departments reach the administration or the respective departments that are concerned with the giving stipends.
So, do you have any plan of action for that? Both of them.
Yes, sir. We have to try to get the department persons forward the attendance as fast as possible, because as the attendance to be forwarded, then only the stipend will be come into account. So I try to get the department persons will forward the attendance as soon as possible.
So, BRAJ Mohan,
Yes, sir.
you told you'll be increasing the number of Wi-Fi routers
Yeah.
in all the hospitals. So, you know the limitations of the CSG department. You might have read the interview by CSG group recently, which came in NIT Chronicle. So, you know the limitations of CSG if you would have read it. So, how are you planning to approach? What is your approach on increasing the number of Wi-Fi routers? Because we have a lot of connections. So, the number of connections are well defined. So, what's your approach on that?
Sir, in other IITs and NITs, there are separate LAN connection in each room. But that will be not happen here because it's too costly. But increasing the number of routers will be QTC. Then we have to go for it because it's a primary need of each person.
Your approach. How will you approach?
Sir, implanting more number of routers.
The basic problem that we face here about the Wi-Fi problem is that the mapping of the Wi-Fi modems is not correct. If the number of routers increases, the mapping is still wrong. Then there won't be any. Then the number of increasing the number of routers will not increase any Wi-Fi range or Wi-Fi solutions. So you have to first remap, then provide more routers.
Sir, one more idea I have is enabling only one device, one ID, one connection, such that because at this time laptop, mobile and tabs are to be connected. So if one ID, one connection is to be there, the speed is to be increased.
So, how will you approach? So, whom you will be approaching regarding that?
First of all, CSE department is the main department that I have to approach to discuss anything about the Wi-Fi, discuss anything about the Wi-Fi issues. I have to ask them. I have to ask to hostel offices.
Sir, at this time, I know only the CSE department will help. But as I comes in system, I come to know who are the people who will help me for doing so.
Okay, thank you. So my next question is for both of you. What is your opinion regarding the MTech participation in various events that is happening in our college, especially in NIT Fest? So what is your suggestion? Should we have a separate team for MTech, or should we go with the department wise? Yeah, please explain the reason and how would you tackle it?
So it's better to increase the participation of PG guys in existing clubs, because it will help in increasing the coordination between UG, PG and PhD all guys. And if it's possible that some PG guys needed separate clubs for their specific purpose, then it's better to help them.
That's not my question. Actually, the question is that should we have a separate team for participation when competing with other department or other specialization? Or should we go with the department? Suppose if it's under Triply, the PG students will be participating under Triply branch, or should we have a team like MTech as we had in sports?
Yes,
So
sir.
that's, what is your opinion on that?
Many of the students are asking for having a separate team, because if we have a common team, then the participation of the PG guys will be very less. So having a separate team will increase the participation of PG guys.
Like, unlike BTech, which is 4 years, the MTechs or the PGs are having only 2 years. So including this MTech into the BTech or UGs will only increase the amount of participation by the PGs. It would be better if there is a separate MTech team, so the participation from the MTech will be MTech or PGs will be much higher.
But why don't you see the other side of the coin also? Because MTech students, there are 1,000 in numbers, unlike any other department. Even MSc plus PhD don't cross 100. But if you give separate team for 1,000 members, don't you think MTech people will be dominating in all the competitions? So,
Like for mechanical department, it is around 600, I think. 600 students, all UG together.
MTech, all the departments together,
350
we'll be
plus
having,
350, around 700.
no, we'll be having 1,000 plus because
I think it is around 700 only. It would be around same as any other department.
you should consider first year and second year as well. Because MTech
Yes.
team in the sense, first year plus second year.
MTechs in the first year it is around 350. I hope the same will be for the seniors too.
You told that it's better to have a separate team. Do you know the reason why MTech wanted a separate team?
Sorry?
Do you know the reason why MTech asked for a separate team this time in NetFest?
Okay.
We had one small issue where MTech asked that we want a separate team for MTech instead of joining with the departments which we are in right now.
I don't know the reason what they told you. Could you please enlighten me?
The reason was they told that each department has one event coordinator and each department has a department coordinator. Since BTech have experience of more than 3 years, in the final year, BTechs are chosen as the department coordinator. In BR, a second year is chosen as the department coordinator.
Okay.
But MTech told that we are not getting equal representation in our department, so we want a separate department. The
Okay.
question which arises is, why didn't the MTechs ask the department, UG department guys, that we also want to be included in the fest along with you?
See, like I said before.
People are saying, MTech people are saying we want separate team for MTech.
Yeah.
Next fest is interdepartmental competition. MTech is not a department. MTech comes under one separate, like each cluster, let's say power system comes under Triply, welding comes under another department.
Okay.
So it's Triply versus chemical versus EC versus mechanical, etc.
Okay.
But PhDs don't come under any department as well. So for them we have a separate PhD team.
So my question, I have to retort this with another question. Like for the sports field, we can see that there are separate teams in mechanical, electrical, easy, and there are separate teams for mechanical. There they have no problem with it. And why not they have problem with this also?
This issue is going to be resolved in the next post-fit because this time from last year we are having overall trophy.
Okay.
So from next year onwards, NIT Fest and Sports Fit together will have the same teams. If you have a separate team for MTech in Sports Fit, you'll have a separate team in NIT Fest also.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a separate team in Sports Fit, you won't have it in NIT Fest also, because then your points are going to waste.
Okay, let me see what I can do about that. Thank you.
And the following questions are for Mohan.
Yes, sir.
You told like in the library you will be like trying for study rooms.
Yeah.
Do you think there are enough rooms?
Yeah, sir, there is a room, but outside books are not allowed there. And
Okay.
we PG guys need our books to study. Because some standard books are not available in library, so we need to take our books inside the library, and that's not allowed.
What is the point of having study room inside the library if you have a separate room for you?
Sir, because there is noise-free region is there and serene environment is there. Yeah, actually, ma'am, the study room is just side to the main entry gate.
The point is clear. We are humanities department that we made it go and that did not work out. If you can do it, that's a great thing.
Okay, I try my best, ma'am, for it.
We did go, we tried, that did not work out. So,
And one more point, Mohan.
Yeah.
You told like you'll be having coffee vending machines in the hostels.
What?
Coffee vending machines.
Yes, sir.
Tea and coffee vending machines. What is the point of having those things? And we have the like coffee shops nearby our hostels, right?
Yes, sir.
And what is the point behind it?
Sir, because many times we need to we are not interested to go outside and for coffee and something like that. So it's better that coffee vending machine will be there.
No, do you say like we'll be having the coffee vending machine for the whole year or during the exams or what point of time?
Sir, during nights.
Every day.
Yeah, every day. Or in exams it's preferable.
Like how will you like go with that? Like, what is the work plan on that?
Sir,
Who will take care of that? What is the work plan?
sir, it's automatic coffee vending machine.
Automatic vending machine, but
Yeah,
someone has to.
one person can handle it. Single person can handle it.
Single person can handle, but who will handle it?
We have to consult to some caterers for it.
Now, how will you like make sure what is the quantity need per day?
What is the quantity?
Yeah.
Sir, it's as per the because in I think in Chennai bakery we have a coffee vending machine is there.
So,
Same will be planted inside hostels and
that is my question. What will be the quantity per day?
I think
In
it's
Aquamarine, we are like 400 people approximately per hostel. What will be the quantity that the coffee vending machine will make?
sir, actually
Each
only
day.
it's not that all people need to coffee and coffee and tea vending machine. It's
Okay.
probably 50% needed, and we have to arrange.
No, I just need an answer for this question. Who will be maintaining the coffee vending machines? Coffee vending machines. Just answer for this question.
Sir,
Okay.
we have to ask some caterers like Chennai bakery and something like that who are going to arrange it.
Audience have any questions, they can ask now.
Any questions from the audience?
Jithin, you told you'll work towards the relaxation of charges for all the equipment, the CM, TEM and XRT. So, how you'll approach? What is your approach and what is your action plan? And I also wanted to know about the contingency
Yeah, sure.
of 5,000.
First of all, I have to raise this question, raise this problem with student council. then anyhow I have to approach the director. The director has the power to relieve the charges from them. Okay? About the contingency fund. The contingency fund will be also under the power only of director. He or she all has the power and the dean ID too.
Why do you think there are charges for the equipment? Because you just told you'll relax, but every equipment it will need some maintenance, need some operation. So how are you expecting to relax?
We are already paying our institution fees, other fees too. And why should we pay for something that is already in this college, the property of this college? And always these kinds of machines are always outsourced to other purposes. Like from other industries also, they are also doing research and cutting in these machines. So we should, at least students must get the advantage of that.
The question is for Jithin.
Yes.
And you told like every hostel there will be a compressor installed,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Every hostel in the sense, PG hostels?
PG hostels like Aquamarine,
Okay.
Lapis, then there is Pearl
Mm-hmm.
and Emerald.
It's only for PG hostels that you will work?
I will try to bring, my first priority is to bring to the PG hostels. Then later on, if I have more power, I will surely bring to the other hostels too.
Now, what is the need for that? Anyhow, like you'll be moving out of the campus at some point of time. Like, why can't you do you have any idea where the compressor is installed as of now?
It is near the top of in the Diamond Hostel, near the hostel office.
Yeah, why can't the students go and fill air there? Like,
See,
it's not like the people have to wait over there for a long time.
no, it's not like that. I understand that. See, from my past experience, there were conditions where my cycle tire was punctured. Not only my friends too, and every other students I know, every one of us cycle tires has been punctured. But in the morning, when you are in a hurry to move to the LHC or other respective departments, there is no other way to pump air to the tires. So it would be very helpful for those students at least.
Okay, thank you, Jithin. We have only 2 or 3 minutes left for the session to complete.
Okay.
And if you have any question to ask among yourself, you can ask. We don't have much time.
You said about tree plantation, but the main problem here is that we are not getting enough water to irrigate those tree saplings actually. What are your plans for that? Like you said in your manifesto. Like
It's nowhere in my manifesto.
Like the manifesto you released about earlier, it contained the tree plantations.
It's just a leakage because purposefully leakage that to just
Okay, I understand that. And what are your approach to the ACs? Do you think that working of the ACs toward there is a viable or a feasible solution?
yeah, there is maintenance problem only because before 1 month all ACs are in working condition, but now I think due to maintenance problem the ACs are not working. Even
Sorry to be interrupting the candidates, but audience, it would be nice if you can maintain silence while the debate is going on. The debate is for you, the SoapBox is for you. So please do respect the candidates on stage. Thank you. Come on.
that's only maintenance problem, nothing else.
But actually it is not the problem. The ACs aren't working because of they're cutting the power, so that there is reduction in
No,
power
actually,
consumption.
the ACs are not working continuously. Even
Yeah, it will work only in the one season of the year. Probably, most probably in this season. But it is not because it is not required to work the AC throughout the year. Like in December and November and all, there is no requirement for AC at all.
I think in Tamil Nadu we require for a whole year.
Do any of you guys think that AC is required during December in Tamil Nadu, in this place, particularly in Trichy?
Yes, because we don't have seasons in Tamil Nadu, we just have summer.
Sorry?
We don't have seasons in Tamil Nadu, we just have summer.
Do you think AC is required? AC is an emergency there.
Not during AC, they are in summer, but then the AC are required all the time.
Then you all the time you spend in all the year you spend in AC.
It's freezing cold, no, but only during the peak hours of the day when the temperature is like spiking to 30 and 40. That time it would be preferable if you have AC in our.
See, unlike other states, Tamil Nadu is not very good at electricity, good with electricity, and our load consumption during AC is very high, and it is not at all feasible to run the ACs during that season also.
Since the load consumption high for diesel also, they are running all around the year.
It is running only for some time, right?
No, they are not. Every day I am going and filling off the diesel, they are running all the day round. No one is looking after it.
Okay.
Okay, Mohan, any questions to Mohan?
Yeah.
Any questions to Jithin? We'll have to bring the session to an end.
Okay.
Uh,
As you mentioned, 5,000 to be granted for PG final year students. From where you can manage it? Because 5,000 for each student for per semester will cost 30 lakhs for PG guys of MTech.
It's from the non-planned fund or the TechUp fund.
Where?
TechUp or the non-planned fund.
I think MHRD will do for all colleges, not only for NIT Trichy.
It is our responsibility to keep that together. Actually, in our college, the Department of Chemistry is giving this 5,000 rupees per semester for every student for the last years.
Yes.
For doing that. Similarly, we can implement that technology to every department.
But for each PG final year,
It is for doing that
cost about 1 crore per year.
It is for doing the PG projects, like for pricing consumables. Don't you think it is a necessary requirement? So, unlike for PG MTechs, the fees and the margin between the fees and the stipend they are getting is very less.
Yes.
So, requirement for additional support is necessary. That is why I wanted that to happen.
If we want this, then what about the PhD guys? They also.
Yeah, in January 2016, there was an agreement between the 10 principal, director, Dr. Sundar Rajan, and the PhD scholars that they would be allowed to get 5,000. They would be allowed to get 5,000 for their consumables, but that was not implemented. So I would like to implement at least to the PGs too.
Any other questions to Jithin? Mohan? Okay, we'll take one question from the audience in case you guys have a question. Okay. Please give your name and the department you're from. And
Actually, I'm Vishnu Suresh. I'm MMA department. Yeah. I have a question to Mr. Mohan. And yesterday we got a manifesto of yours through the WhatsApp group. And in the manifesto it said, like, in the last line of your manifesto, it's like tree plantation drives, campus driven tree plantation and adoption.
Yeah.
This is what you have given in the yesterday's manifesto. And the roll number, everything matches 211316014.
Okay.
And you're now telling, like, you know, no doubt of mine.
Just 1 minute. I sent that manifesto to you, me.
Actually, this is the manifesto which has been circulated by your friends, you know, in our WhatsApp group and all.
You know, before this debate, no one going to release his manifesto.
But it is released, right? That's how we got it. It's been
That's
not.
from mass. Definitely, I will not think.
You can see all other points which you haven't got it, everything.
That's why I make some changes.
Would you change the manifesto again according to your needs the next time when you get somebody asking questions?
No, no. The same question is same manifesto is there. I forwarded to Lakshmi University.
Okay. With that, we'll come to the end of the session for this secretary post. Thank you both candidates. Thank you, Jithin, and thank you, Mohan.